Something very ordinary with extraordinary result. They use social media. Is it something which can change the world? Yes, that's what I want to tell you about Suresh Ediga and Ali Bhai. Suresh is a computer engineer. Guess what he does? He calls up people. Geography is history. He is on a train between New Jersey and New York, but he has his smartphone with him. And in that social media platform called CGNet Swara, people from remote parts of the country, this country, use their mobile phone to tell their stories. They tell that they have a school which is not functioning. They sometimes sing their songs. They tell they have a hospital where there is no doctor, and they also request. They say, we are finding it hard to change this situation. We have gone to our officers, we have gone to our collector, we have written letters, we have done morcha, dharna, but nothing is happening. Anybody in this world who is listening to us, who is reading about us, can you please help? And that voice on this social media platform, with the help of internet, reaches all over. Reaches also Suresh Ediga in the train in the morning and evening between New Jersey and New York. And then he also has a phone. And he calls up these officers. One day he read a story about an Adivasi group called Pahadi Kurwa. Pahadi means they live in the hills, and they are called primitive tribes. Poorest of the poor people, probably not even a single Pahadi Kurwa has passed school. So they don't know English. They can't go very far with their language. Not many understand their language. So they can't get help from people from far. But on this social media, on this platform, they use their mobile phone, which has reached them now, to tell the story that they don't have a doctor. So two women who were pregnant, and they could not take them to the doctor, and they died. And this was not the first case. They also don't have a school. They don't have many things. Can you help? And yes, Suresh Ediga called the collector of that officer who heads that district, whose number was given in the same message by that Pahadi Kurwa boy. And the collector was very surprised. How do you know about this village, which is, in the middle of nowhere in my district? He talked to him, and guess what? Next morning, collector reached that village and found those stories to be correct, and he changed everything. Now there is a school, now there is a hospital, a road is coming up, they're getting lots of government support, and that village will be a changed place. Ali Bhai Ali Bhai lives in Hyderabad. He works for a call center. Again the same story, he lives somewhere in Hyderabad, his office is somewhere, a cab comes and picks him up. 2 hours he travels to his work, again 2 hours he comes back from work. He does the same thing. He calls up officers in Jharkhand where there is a school but there is no teacher. Officers tell him, no, you are not got the story right. This name and this block, there is already a school and it is functioning. He again finds out from the caller who called, no, you got the block wrong. The name of the village was right, but the name of the block was wrong. And this man, sitting in Hyderabad, changes the fate of these hundreds of students who were not going to get any education. How is this happening? This is social media where we are all talking to each other, helping each other. For mine, the word social media. I'm not talking about Facebook. Yes, Facebook is social media in America, in Finland, in Europe. Guess in a room full of 100 people or 200 people, if only 10 of us in one corner, which is the reach of Facebook, say for in India, 10% people use Facebook in India. If we are talking to ourselves only, and we have no interaction with 90% of the people in this country, that cannot be called social media. Yes, social media is the need of the hour. We need to create our own social media where we talk to each other, where we know about each other, where we help each other and create a better world. I'm a journalist and I used to cover wars. I used to work with a company called BBC and I was based in South Asia. So I used to hop from one war to another, starting from, just name it, Kashmir, Afghanistan, Sri Lanka. But then I also started covering Maoist war, which is happening in central India. And for a change, the change was some of my classmates who I studied with were also part of the same movement, who were the biggest terrorists, which our Prime Minister called India's biggest internal security threat. What they taught me, I never learned in big institutions and big colleges. They told me your media is very aristocratic. We journalists, our biggest job is to abuse politicians, what they are doing wrong. But those politicians in India, at least, have democratized politics. But we journalists still work in a very top-down, one-way model of communication, where only few speak and rest are only listening, they are not taking part. Can that change? That's what changes if you have a democratic media, if you have a social media. So we need your help to create social media for India. When I say democratic, that means the last person, the poorest person, the person living at the farthest point of our country can also tell her stories and can be heard. What I came to know from my backbenchers in my school who became terrorists, why did they become terrorists? Because we never heard them, because their problems were never solved. In this world, everybody's problem can be solved. If their problem cannot be solved, they can at least be heard. But Adivasis in India have gone unheard for a long, long time. We have created these media dark zones because our media is concentrated only in cities. We sometimes parachute to these remote areas. That can change. We have the technology. We now something new we have created called Bluetooth radio. Now I'm sure you've never heard of this, because this is the technology which all of us have in our pocket, but we never use it. So there are appropriate technologies for different people. So this is Bluetooth technology which all of us have in our phone. But we don't need to use it because we have Wi-Fi, we have internet. But if you go to remote areas, they all use Bluetooth technology to transfer video and transfer data for audio for listening to songs. We all think who live in cities that shortwave radio and medium wave radio, these are technology of the past. But if we are talking about a vast majority of this country, 45% of rural India is still to be electrified. So we cannot have television there. A huge number of our population cannot read and write. They don't have money to buy a newspaper. They never reach there. If you're talking about change, if you're talking about development, we need to have dialogue. We need to talk to each other. We need to discuss. And that is possible. We have technologies like internet, which is very powerful, but it has no reach in a country like India. But internet can get connected with voice. Internet can get connected with Bluetooth. Internet can get connected with radio. So if we are a bit creative, if we use appropriate technology, we use the strength and weakness of these technologies. Internet is very powerful, but it has no reach. Mobile has all the reach, but it is very expensive. Bluetooth can be that tool because it transfers data free to each other. So here I am. We're not very far from Cuttack, where Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was born. He said, तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुमको आज़ादी दूंगा. Give me blood, I'll give you freedom. I'm not asking for any blood. Give me 5 minutes. Be Suresh Ediga, be Ali Bhai. You can change this world. You can improve our democracy, you can improve our governance. In the remote parts of our country, people are hungry. We have enough food. It's just the problem of distribution. People are taking up guns. We have enough laws and rules to help them. We are just not able to implement them. Mahatma Gandhi used to do satyagraha. He taught us how to do dharna. Had Mahatma Gandhi been here today, had he also walked from Delhi to Bhubaneswar? Maybe not. This is the time for internet satyagraha. This is the time for mobile morcha. We can help each other. I may be anywhere, I can help you. You may be anywhere, however busy you are. Technology is helping us. We don't need our full day. Give me 5 minutes in your coffee break. Give me 5 minutes in your that loneliest of the moment when you're thinking what to do. Go to that social media, create that social media where the last person of our society can talk, can tell their stories, and if they need help, we need to make one phone call, we need to make one email, and we can improve this world, we can make this place a better place to live for us, for our future generations. Thank you very, very much.